Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be following Hellscream's Bounty Hunter. He's ranked 55 in Europe, support player, and I think Bounty Hunter might be one of the best heroes of this upcoming patch. The reason for that is, in my opinion, number one, well, they buffed Janata at level 1, so it does 10 more damage. This can make or break kills in the early game, which is definitely nice. And on top of that, they made Vessel a much better item. So the build I'm going to be recommending here today is a hero that already had a good win rate last patch and has now been buffed, and will be playing with an item that is incredibly strong. Going Spirit Vessel and Hellscream, this is a game he just played, so like a day after the patch, he immediately figured out, yeah, this Vessel item is good, I'm going to be buying it on heroes that can play active, get active. So you might be wondering, what do they do to Vessel? It reduces healing by 10% more, which is a lot, from 50 to 60, and if you die with a charge, you still get an extra charge. Previously, only if you died with 0 charges would you get an extra charge. Now, if you have any amount, you get an extra charge. This is huge. On top of that, go sign up to the gameleap website, guys. I'm posting new content over there almost every day, and I'll see you there. Let's talk about pre-game. I recommend skilling your E basically every game and looking to get first blood. Obviously, Bounty is very good at this. Buy a blood grenade. These items are fine. The stick can be a whole host of items. I think it's fine to save for like Orb of Emin as well. Like trade out the stick and a branch for an Oov. I'm a fan of that build too. It helps get first blood. But in this game, he bought a stick. He's leaning against a bristleback. Of course, you have to buy a stick. But yeah, they go for first blood. Ends up not going super well here because the enemy team responded very, very well. So well played to the enemy team. Commits on the line. They do end up getting the kill, but it wasn't too great. From there, his first 2 items that he buys is Tangos and a Salve. And they planted this ward. I think when you play Bounty, you should either plant this ward if you're on Dire, or if you're on Radiant, you should plant this ward, or even this ward. And the reason why is you're really fast. Like Bounty Hunter is a naturally very fast hero, and you one-shot couriers. Right, 325 movement speed, and you one-shot couriers, plus if a position 5 tries to chase you when you're sniping couriers, you have 8 armor, so you don't really take very much damage. You just need to buy a lot of regen, because you have pretty low base regen at 2.9. And yeah, a couple other things. Block the small camp, don't let them pull that, try to open the large camp, and yeah, basically use your invis to close the gap on the enemy position 5. If they put down a sentry, don't fret. Just use your threat to zone out the 5 so that they can't hit your offlaner. All right, let's see what he does here. So the first thing he does is he snipes a courier. This is going to be a pretty common theme, which is going to be sniping couriers and picking on the line, as unfortunately the Hex comes out and he didn't pick up that kill. Gonna hit level 2. At level 2, he's going to skill Janata. Janata now does 10 more damage, so it's a little bit better in the lane. Nothing crazy, didn't break the game. I'm not going to try to convince you guys that this hero is way different now, but yeah, as he gets on top of the line, it's going to deal a good amount of damage, steal up some gold, and he zones him out of the lane. From there, he's going to once again block the small camp. 2 minutes in a row, he's blocked the small camp, trying not to be... Okay, he messed it up. He was supposed to block the small camp. As he sneaks up on Bristle, does some damage to Bristle here. Pudge looking for the hook. Wow, he actually hit that. That's crazy. Finds the lion. This is great. And anytime you can close the gap on these squishy 5s, you're always going to win the trade. And that's why all you really need to do is kind of keep this camp blocked, open up the large, and force the position 5 to fight you for the large camp, where they have to step into the open, because that's when you're going to find your opportunity to get those Janata hits off, to get those invis hits off. But yeah, just spam Janata off cooldown, mainly by using your invis to close the gap. Pretty standard. You're going to pick up the Lotus, queue up his boots, hits the Bristle here. I think he considered stunning him for the Pudge hook. He probably should have. There you go. Wow, that was really awesome. Super good synergy here. And they pick up the kill. All right, moving on, something that I like that he does here is he quickly realizes that at some point in this lane, Bristleback does not get pressured by Pudge. And this is just kind of being good at Dota, knowing your matchups. So if you realize that your lane that you're in isn't good as Bounty Hunter, you should absolutely go contest the other lanes. This hero is one of the best in the game at making moves to mid, making moves with a TP to the other side of the lane, making moves through the gate, contesting runes, right? Contesting wisdom runes because he has a stun, power runes, water runes. Whatever it is, you're really good at that. So I love that he goes mid, because he doesn't have pressure bottom. He's now going to walk top, look for an opportunity top. And this one got weird because his Shadow Demon disrupted at a very awkward time. This is probably not the best disruption. It allowed the Doom to basically close the gap and enemy TPs to come in, but they find the kill. Nonetheless, in terms of his items, look at what he's got here. Boots in a windlace. Next item, blood grenade, ward, sentry, and a wand. Right, so the wand was obviously from earlier, as it gets on top of the line here. Wow, look at that damage. Whew. That is some damage right there. I like his skill build, by the way. I think the point in the Shuriken is better than the second point in Janata. Janata just doesn't scale very well, where Shuriken level 1 is actually 100 damage. It's a slow, And it's only 65 mana, so big fan of the 1/1/1 skill build. I think it's probably the best right now. This was unfortunate. He TP'd bottom here to save Pudge, but the Pudge got outplayed. Double wave, and he gets run down. So yeah, as I was mentioning, there's no real pressure on Bristle, so his best play is to look for the 7-minute Wisdom rune, but that already passed. And so the next best play is to look for the minute 8 rune, which is what he's going to do here. Can definitely get the top rune if needed. The rune was top. He decides, okay, my Void Spirit's dead. Gonna take the top rune. Big fight mid breaks out here. Catches the puck at the last second. Kills him off, blood grenade. And now, this is like the best case scenario. When this happens as a sub, you know the game is going to be cooking because you hit an early level 6. So what does he do? Hits this early level 6, ships out his urn immediately. Also, for the components in urn, the first 2 things you want to buy are Sage's Mask and Fluffy Hat. If you're buying the components, you should be buying the Sage's Mask. You should not wait for full urn. And then you buy the urn, or buy the Fluffy Hat, then the urn. And then you're just going to go Vessel. You don't need boots. I don't recommend buying mana boots. This item got nerfed really hard. And this is another reason why Vessel's so good this patch. It's just because you need mana regen on subs. So I think the best way to do it is things like Raindrops, Sage's Mask, and Clarities. So I'd love to see him even buy a Clarity at some point and avoid the mana boots if possible, because that item, it's still fine, but it's just not what it used to be. Yeah, finds a huge track kill onto the Doom. And the big thing here is this is his pressure lane. Shadow Fiend counters Doom at this point of the game. It's a hard matchup for Doom. And so understanding that, he can continue to pick on him, right? When you have a carry hero like SF or Jug, or Ursa, these heroes that are very high damage in the early game, it's a really good idea to show up to the lane and find kills. Fight breaks out. By the way, in terms of the facet, he has some really cool facet in innate. So this facet is the one with higher win rate. It makes it where Shuriken Toss applies its damage and slow to all enemies it passes through. I think this one is fantastic and is super what I would recommend, mainly because it helps you clear waves as the game progresses. 2 Shurikens maxed out will clear a creep wave, and it helps you farm. And as innate is when you get a kill or an assist on a hero that has a kill streak, you receive 20% extra gold, which is a lot. Yeah, gonna throw the Shuriken here, kill off the Bristle, immediately track, guys. In order to be an optimal bounty, you need to track off cooldown. Please track off cooldown. Shuriken came out there, it actually hit the puck, even though puck was not tracked because of the through and through facets, so immediately getting value out of it. Some of that bonus damage, track onto the puck, as I said. Maximize these tracks, throws another Shuriken. And the gameplay is simple. At this point of the game, guys, you're maxing your cube, you're buying Clarities, and you're throwing a bunch of Shurikens. Your goal in the team fights should not really be to set up with Invis, even though it can be the case as he goes for the rune here. It's not really to set up for Invis. Note how he also has a Clarity. It's to just throw Shurikens. That's also why I like that his neutral item is a Royal Jelly. There's a lot of good neutral items. Seeds are good. Arcane Ring is fine. Royal Jelly is definitely the best case scenario, I'd say, because you want a mix of HP regen and mana regen with this build. So a couple things to note as this upcoming fight breaks out that I really like is, number one, he's got the Vessel completed. You're really tanky on this hero because you have 13 armor. So it gets a lot of value out of applying this Vessel to the Bristle. Throws a Shuriken, chips him down. Pudge misses the hook. He does overcommit going under the tower here to check if there's a hill ward, which was a little bit questionable and probably a bad play. Nice disruption to bail him out. He should get a Vessel out on the Bristle as soon as possible. You want to be applying Bristle to the highest possible HP heroes because it does percentage-based damage and it reduces healing. So it's really good against heroes like Bristle that tend to have a decent amount of HP regen and have high HP pools. So I would have loved to see him even use it a bit earlier. It ended up not mattering, but yeah. Gets out the damage, gets out another Shuriken, and they pretty handily win the fight. An upcoming hero, I just really like his execution and map play, so just kind of take some notes. He comes top, right, scouting out the area. By the way, he's maxing out the invis, which I thought was interesting. Really not even thinking about playing around Janata, and I agree, you don't play around Janata nowadays. It's just a bad idea. It's a good way to get yourself killed. So he immediately tracks the Doom. It's good to just keep applying these tracks, give vision to the enemy team. Spirit Breaker goes in, tracks up the line, throws a Shuriken, just getting some good chip out. Vessels up the line to try to help the Pudge finish off the kill. Track, another Shuriken comes out. That Shuriken plus Vessel finishes off the line. So immediately super high value. Very tanky here. Should pop his Jelly. I think he kind of forgot. Dodges the Puck Orb. Would have loved to once again see him toss out this Vessel a little earlier. I don't love his positioning. I think he should have stayed in this tree line, applied a Vessel, throwed one more Shuriken, and that would have been extremely high value if he could have gotten that off before dying. And it would have made a difference because it would have killed off the Spirit Breaker. So just remember, guys, stay on the outside, keep applying tracks, use your Vessel, and don't be afraid of using too many Vessels. If you end up dying, you'll get a charge back. So next up, he picks up a Yules, which I think has multiple uses this game. It purges Bulldoze from Spirit Breaker, but also if the Puck uses Orb and you Yules him, like halfway through the Orb duration, he won't be able to go to it. And I do see some players do this against Puck. It's a pretty interesting take. Also, it kind of just can keep him alive against Coil. That's fine too. You can also stop charge. You know, I think there's a lot of use cases here. Do I necessarily recommend this? Honestly, not exactly. I think there's a couple of different builds you can go. You can go Ags. However, if you're gonna go Ags, don't max your E, max your W, because it makes your Shuriken apply Janata. You of course want to take Janata damage and max Janata if you're buying Ags. However, this talent level 10 is really cool. Shuriken toss slow. It makes it basically a 1 second slow, which is really good for a 5-second cooldown that's gonna hit the majority of the enemy team as long as you continue throughout these tracks, right? Vessel onto the Spear Breaker. Blood Grenade. He's buying so many Blood Grenades, by the way. I wonder if he's going to do the Yules thing here. Definitely has the option to kind of throw off the puck if he's not careful. Could try it here. Okay, now there's no window. He's going for another Blood Grenade. No, he got no value out of the Yules. Yeah, I don't know. I think the Yules is a little weird. I will admit, guys. I think it's one of those items where it's just really hard to use. It's really hard to get value. And then in fights like that, he just didn't get value. So things like Drums are very safe. Solar Crest is still very safe. Glimmer for your teammates and HP is totally fine. Even though you're an Invis hero, it's still good. You know, you can buy any of the basic utility items. Or if you want to be a Giga Chad, max the W and buy an Axe. That build, in my opinion, is totally fine. And then the next item you buy after that is an Aether Lens, and you're just a menace from the back line. And just remember, stay in the back. Fight breaks out, tracks to Bristle. Uses the Spear Breaker to cancel the charge. Okay, that's pretty crazy that I was that aware. Another Shuriken, Vessel on the Bristle, just poking him out. Another track on the line. See how good he is about tracking? Throws a Blood Grenade at Bristle, which is so goofy. I don't know, that couldn't have done anything. Another track on the Spear Breaker, another Vessel on the Spear Breaker, another Shuriken, and slowly but surely, they wear them out. Another Vessel. Bro has 4 charges out of nowhere. That's not a Spear Vessel buff. That's just how the item works. Because he went down to 0 and they got 3 kills, which is 2 charges for the first kill, and then another 2 charges for the second and the third kill. And something cool about Bounty Hunter now as well is that you can kind of farm a little bit. Like if you want to, it's definitely a decent option, right? Because you can Shuriken through the camps. And that's what he does here. Shuriken through. Same thing for the creep wave. If you throw it at the range creep, you can hit the entire wave. Unfortunately, he didn't do it there. I don't know why. But yeah, it's good. It just helps you push waves. Bounty Hunter all of a sudden can actually push waves. All right, and finally, in terms of talents, this is the last thing I'm going to cover. He actually took 30% damage taken in Shadow Walk, which, I mean, Track Gold is very tempting and it's a good talent. Like, honestly, I'm a little surprised he didn't take it. However, what I will say is he got his Shard, and this Shard is really cool with this talent, right? Because he was putting out a Shadow Demon, and then when the Puck would jump the Shadow Demon, or if Puck jumps Shadow Demon or Spear Breaker charges him, the Shadow Demon's just taking 30% less damage. I mean, that's crazy. You can also put it on your allies as a save. So let's say your frontliner gets charged or hexed or stunned. You're going to put this Invis on them, and then they just have 30% damage reduction. I mean, that's really good, right? I mean, it is. And it's part of this weird second ability. Like, I forgot that they did this, where the Shadow Walk is an ability, and then he gets Friendly Shadow. So yeah, this Shard plus this 15 talent is really broken. At level 20, I think if you buy Ags, you can take Janata Gold Steel, because it does work with the Ags. Otherwise, Track grants Shared Vision is 10 times better. And then finally, at 25, honestly, the no cooldown on Janata is pretty good, actually. Like, you can buy a Moon Shard and hit people, and yeah, it's a bit of a meme, but it's actually quite good. If the enemy has a lot of unreliable gold, you will steal it all. So yeah, it's not bad. It's all right. But okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, before you tune out, subscribe to the GameLeap website, where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace!